he taught me, all the mathematical tables. And by the time I got into 3rd grade, the teacher said, she's just passed all the standardized tests up to 12th grade.
No one could have imagined the whirlwind downfall of The View, a daytime TV juggernaut that imploded in a spectacular fashion. Controversies erupted like wildfire, leaving viewers reeling as the once iconic show disintegrated before their very eyes. What was once a dynamic roundtable of fierce debate turned into a ticking time bomb of betrayals, bitter rivalries, and a legal threat so serious it ended the show for good. But the real shocker? Sunny Hostin found herself at the epicenter of the final meltdown. Her on-camera emotional breakdown, broadcast to millions, became the moment everyone was talking about. Behind the scenes, whispers of trouble had already been circulating. Staff reportedly described an atmosphere thick with unease, though no one could pinpoint exactly when things had taken a turn. Many traced the chaos back to a heated segment weeks earlier where Sunny delivered a scathing critique of a high-profile figure, a powerhouse known for wielding influence and, more dangerously, lawsuits. That fiery monologue split the audience in two. Some applauded Sunny's boldness, while others were quick to condemn her daring move. Even some of Sunny Hostin's most loyal fans couldn't deny that her commentary might have crossed the line. Sure, The View had built its reputation on edgy opinions and bold debates, but this time there was an unmistakable tension in the control room. Was the show balancing on that perilous edge between fearless commentary and outright defamation? Producers tried to calm the growing anxiety. Lawsuits weren't exactly uncharted territory for The View. Their skilled legal team had navigated rocky waters before. The show's strategy of framing contentious topics as debate rather than direct accusations had always been its saving grace. But this time, it felt like a storm was brewing. Behind closed doors, whispers grew louder. The powerful figure Sunny had critiqued wasn't just upset. They were allegedly gearing up for a defamation lawsuit that could target not just the show, but the network and Sunny personally. ABC tried to project confidence, with officials brushing off the murmurs and reminding everyone that no lawsuit had been filed yet. Still, the looming possibility cast a long shadow over the set, fracturing the already fragile relationships between the co-hosts. The green room became a breeding ground for hushed speculation. Some clung to hope, believing this was just another challenge the show would power through. Others weren't so optimistic. They feared the cracks were too deep this time, threatening to shatter everything. Through it all, Sunny remained outwardly unshaken. She stood firm, asserting she'd only exercised her First Amendment right to critique a public figure, a cornerstone of The View's legacy. She dismissed concerns that her words had veered into dangerous territory, insisting this wasn't new ground for the show. For years, the hosts had called out powerful politicians, celebrities, and corporate leaders without any lasting fallout. Sunny, a seasoned player in these high-stakes exchanges, expected backlash. Sunny's confidence cracked when a legal notice arrived, confirming the threat of action was real. The letter wasn't from a random source. It came from a legal powerhouse known for protecting their reputation with relentless precision. This wasn't just a slap on the wrist. It hinted at a potential multi-million-dollar lawsuit targeting everyone from Sunny to ABC's top executives for alleged defamation. Panic swept through the staff as whispers of the looming lawsuit spread. Outwardly, The View tried to stay business as usual, sticking to its format of debates and pop culture chatter. But the tension was palpable. Joy Behar's attempts to joke fell flat, met with awkward silence. Even Whoopi Goldberg, usually a steady hand, seemed hesitant to step in, visibly cautious about becoming entangled in a mess that could jeopardize her career.
You really did, and you were like, I heard you coming on the show, and I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying the show. She was like, did they give you car stipend? I was like, no. Did they give you this? I was like, no. I was like, let me get my deal sheet out. And you basically went over your salary for the entire time you were there. And you also gave me Jenny McCarthy's.
Sarah Haynes and the other co-hosts maintained a cautious stance, avoiding the off-camera turmoil. Meanwhile, Sunny Hostin found herself in fresh headlines, with allegations blaming her for The View's potential downfall. Tensions escalated when an official lawsuit was filed. The legal claim stated that The View and Sunny had harmed the plaintiff's reputation by treating unverified claims as fact. While the exact remarks weren't made public, speculation suggested they contained personal allegations that could seriously impact the plaintiff's career and image. ABC's legal team enforced strict silence, leaving audiences to interpret vague on-air remarks regarding the legal battle. The stakes rose as advertisers began withdrawing. A major car company was the first to halt sponsorship, followed by other major brands eager to distance themselves from the growing controversy. With sponsors pulling out and legal issues mounting, ABC executives recognized that the show's future was at risk. Without major advertiser backing, daytime talk shows like The View can collapse in weeks, and cracks were already showing. The increasing tension took a toll on Sunny, who, despite her confident public persona, admitted privately to close friends that the ordeal was emotionally draining. She was deeply concerned about the possibility of being forced into a public apology for remarks she firmly believed were fair. Worse, she feared ABC might cut ties with her completely to protect its reputation if the lawsuit required a scapegoat. Though her family stood by her, Sunny's usual confidence was beginning to falter. The thought of losing her career over what she considered an exercise of free speech was overwhelming. She had built her name as an outspoken commentator, and now that very trait was working against her. Behind the scenes, producers scrambled for damage control, drafting a carefully worded statement for Sunny to read on air. It wasn't a full retraction, but a calculated response designed to ease tensions and possibly prevent further legal trouble. Yet the thought left Sunny uneasy. Publicly reading it might suggest she questioned her original remarks, giving the plaintiff's legal team more leverage to escalate their case. She delayed the statement, struggling with the decision. Every passing day, however, brought more uncertainty, making her situation even more precarious. Meanwhile, the controversy fueled intrigue among viewers, briefly boosting the show's ratings. But the numbers did little to reassure advertisers, many of whom were already pulling away. In a surprising move, ABC executives announced The View would be placed on hiatus, while the network handled urgent legal and contractual matters. The word hiatus was deliberately used to avoid saying canceled, but industry insiders knew the reality. A show losing sponsors, caught in a defamation suit, and facing internal turmoil rarely recovered. Some speculated that ABC was using the break to gauge public sentiment before making a final decision on the show's fate. The announcement sent waves of unease through the studio. Veteran staff, many of whom had worked for years to build the show into a daytime staple, realized their jobs were suddenly at risk. The mood turned somber as the weight of the situation set in. Some employees fought back tears as they packed their things, preparing for the worst. The camaraderie that once defined the set was now replaced with tension and uncertainty. Even the most optimistic staff members struggled to remain hopeful, knowing how quickly the television industry could shift. Sunny Hostin, the co-host at the center of the legal storm, was noticeably absent from that day's broadcast. Her absence spoke volumes, prompting speculation among colleagues and viewers about her fate with the show. Meanwhile, the remaining co-hosts carried on, though their expressions reflected the gravity of the moment. What was once the vibrant, spirited energy of The View had become muted, overshadowed by hesitation and doubt. Backstage conversations grew tense as whispers of potential replacements began circulating, with producers contemplating the possibility of a cast shakeup to mitigate further fallout. As the studio lights dimmed, a feeling of finality lingered, leaving staff and fans wondering if the hiatus was just a temporary pause or the beginning of the end for the beloved program. The official statement was that Sunny Hostin was taking a personal day, but behind the scenes, the real story was unfolding. If the lawsuit escalated further, ABC's next move could determine not just Sunny's fate, but the future of the entire show.
15 women have accused him of sexual assault. We've heard about the Stormy Daniels story, that he allegedly paid $130,000.
Were you pissed that she canceled on your show?
I was. Only because, we're a very supportive environment for women. I think any guest will tell you.
Advertisers, caught in a high-stakes defamation lawsuit and surrounded by off-screen turmoil, made recovery seem unlikely. The announcement sent ripples of shock through the studio. Longtime crew members, many who had spent years shaping the program into a daytime staple, suddenly faced an unpredictable future. The usual lively production atmosphere shifted into hushed conversations and uncertain glances. Some employees quietly packed personal belongings, fearing that the hiatus might soon turn into something permanent. Others nervously checked their emails, hoping for any sign of reassurance from ABC executives. Sunny Hostin, placed at the heart of the controversy, was notably absent from the day's episode. Her missing presence said more than words, fueling speculation about her fate with the show. Meanwhile, the remaining co-hosts pushed forward, yet the heavy tension was reflected in their reserved demeanor. What had once been a passionate and heated discussion platform now felt subdued, burdened by uncertainty. Every word spoken on air was carefully measured, as if the hosts feared stepping on the same landmine that had ignited the lawsuit in the first place. As the studio lights dimmed, an undeniable air of finality lingered over the set. Viewers and insiders alike questioned whether The View could survive this crisis, or if the hiatus marked the beginning of the end for the long-standing show. The official statement claimed Sunny was on a personal break, yet behind closed doors, discussions regarding the program's future and her role in it were intensifying. Rumors spread quickly across media outlets, with industry insiders debating whether this was truly just a temporary pause or a quiet exit strategy for key figures. Some speculated that ABC was searching for a replacement lineup, aiming to quietly restructure the show before announcing a formal cancellation. Others suggested that the network was locked in heated discussions with legal teams, hoping to settle matters before making a final decision. Backstage, production assistants whispered about what had gone wrong. Some felt that the controversy had been brewing for months, with tensions on set rising long before the lawsuit was filed. Others believed that it was merely the latest example of how quickly public opinion could shift against a media figure, turning once beloved personalities into liabilities overnight. Fans of the show took to social media, expressing frustration, disappointment, and concern over what the hiatus meant. While some viewers remained loyal to Sunny, arguing that her comments were being unfairly scrutinized, others felt that the show had lost its way, straying too far into controversy instead of discussion. ABC remained silent, refusing to confirm or deny any rumors. Executives were weighing their options, knowing that every decision carried risks. If they cut ties with Sunny, they might face backlash from her supporters. If they kept her, advertisers could continue pulling out. The uncertainty loomed large, and with each passing day, the possibility of The View returning to normal seemed increasingly unlikely. Advertisers, caught in a defamation lawsuit and tangled in high-stakes drama behind the scenes, had little hope of recovering. The announcement sent shockwaves through the building. Longtime staff, many of whom had worked for years to make the program a daytime staple, realized their jobs were now at risk. The atmosphere shifted dramatically as the reality hit. Some employees, their eyes brimming with tears, hurriedly packed their belongings, preparing for the worst. The sense of camaraderie that had once defined the set now felt replaced with uncertainty and fear. Sunny Hostin, the co-host at the heart of the legal firestorm, was noticeably absent from that day's broadcast. Her absence spoke volumes, leaving everyone to wonder what her future on the show would be. Meanwhile, the remaining co-hosts soldiered on, but their faces betrayed the tension. The once vibrant energy of The View had now been replaced by a heavy sense of unease. The pressure had become so unbearable that she could no longer sit at the table without sparking another heated conversation about the lawsuit. That morning, she reportedly met with top ABC executives who laid out the grim reality. While they didn't place the blame entirely on her, they acknowledged her remarks had ignited the storm. Sunny, visibly shaken, realized that the show she had been part of for years could collapse within days. The responsibility and uncertainty left her reeling. Once the dust settled, ABC made it official. The View was canceled. The network's brief statement pointed to evolving production strategies and legal complexities, but the public wasn't fooled. The headlines told the real story. The View, canceled amid defamation lawsuit, Sunny Hostin's comment sparked daytime TV giants' fall, and inside the legal drama that doomed The View. Fan reactions exploded across social media. While many expressed disbelief and outrage, others defended Sunny, arguing that her bold, outspoken style had always been a defining feature of the show. Critics questioned the hypocrisy of punishing her for doing exactly what The View was known for, challenging powerful figures. But in the end, it wasn't enough to save the show or protect Sunny's reputation from the fallout. Some critics argued that Sunny Hostin had crossed a line, failing to adhere to the essential journalistic principle of verifying before speaking. Out. The day after the cancellation, Sunny was seen quietly packing up her dressing room. The atmosphere was bleak. Most staff members had either been reassigned or were preparing to leave. While some producers offered her words of comfort, others held resentment, blaming her for the show's collapse and their job losses. Before leaving, Sunny paused in the corridor where she once laughed and, exchanging banter with her co-hosts, had once come naturally, but now the atmosphere had changed. Witnesses reported that Sunny appeared on the verge of tears, overwhelmed by how quickly everything had unraveled. Though no cameras were rolling, a bystander managed to capture a fleeting moment, a clip showing Sunny standing in a corner, eyes wet with tears, hugging a colleague before wiping her face and walking away. The clip went viral, shifting the narrative from legal drama to personal tragedy. This version should have the same word count as the original. Let me know if everything looks good or if you need further adjustments.
Sound right, boys.
Sunny Hostin's breakdown. After The View cancellation dominated news feeds as social media erupted with debate, some criticized the invasion of privacy, calling the viral video exploitative. Others sympathized, viewing her visible heartbreak as a sign of regret and the immense pressure she faced. ABC remained silent, citing respect for the personal toll the cancellation had taken. Meanwhile, tabloids feasted on the narrative, chronicling how one fiery on-air claim snowballed into a legal storm that destroyed a daytime TV icon. Yet, the saga was far from over. The lawsuit lingered, casting a shadow over Sunny and ABC as they braced for a drawn-out legal battle that could stretch on for months or even years. Amid whispers of settlements, confidential negotiations, and rumors of deals to limit public fallout, Sunny Hostin took an unexpected step. She agreed to an exclusive interview with a podcaster known for exploring controversial subjects. Over nearly 2 hours, Sunny opened up, choosing her words carefully as she described the emotional toll of losing The View. She insisted that she had never intended to defame anyone, explaining that she was speaking truth to power, something she had done countless times before. But her composed demeanor cracked when she recounted those final days in the studio. The strained silences in the makeup room, the whispered corridor conversations about whether they'd all still have jobs. More than once she paused, visibly fighting back tears. The interview sparked a wave of reactions. Critics dismissed it as a calculated attempt at damage control, accusing Sunny of casting herself as a victim instead of owning her role in the more controversy. But many longtime fans rallied to her defense, applauding her. Her vulnerability was evident. She wasn't just mourning the loss of a job, but a platform she had passionately championed for years. Meanwhile, The View's other co-hosts charted their own paths in the fallout. Joy Behar, a staple of the show, expressed sadness over losing a platform that had become a cornerstone of so many morning routines. Whoopi Goldberg, equally stunned, remained tight-lipped on the legal intricacies, but hinted that she hoped some version of the show might return someday. While some former co-hosts explored offers from other networks or launched podcasts, the image that lingered in public memory was Sunny Hostin's tearful departure from the set. Her sorrow and visible sense of responsibility became symbolic of The View's downfall, a cautionary tale for media insiders about the razor-thin line between bold commentary and legal risk. The View had thrived by embracing controversy, fostering heated debates, and challenging societal norms. But that same formula left the show vulnerable, as Sunny's situation demonstrated how quickly the tide could turn when a powerful figure chose to fight back legally. The scandal sparked conversations across the television industry about the importance of equipping hosts and production teams with legal safeguards before wading into sensitive topics. Behind the scenes, whispers of a potential View rebrand began, circulating. Some insiders suggested a revamped format with a rotating roster of hosts to reduce the prominence of any one personality. Others speculated on the slim possibility of Sunny returning under carefully negotiated terms, though the unresolved lawsuit and ongoing negative press made that outcome seem unlikely. Fans were left in limbo, uncertain whether daytime television would ever see a revival of the iconic Round Table. Meanwhile, Sunny retreated from the spotlight, keeping her social media presence minimal. She shared occasional glimpses of family moments and social causes close to her heart, but her future remained uncertain. She avoided revisiting the scandal, and when she did speak about her experience, it was only in vague references, calling it a turbulent chapter in my professional life. Her silence on the lawsuit was deliberate, likely on the advice of her legal team, who were busy with depositions and preparing her defense. Public interest in The View's collapse eventually waned, replaced by new controversies. Still, a loyal group of fans followed every lawsuit update in Sunny Hostin's interviews, debating who was to blame. Some criticized ABC for abandoning her, while others called Sunny reckless for risking everyone's careers. For many, the case highlighted the risks media figures face when bold commentary spirals into legal battles. Months later, the drama resurfaced when the lawsuit advanced to a preliminary hearing. A judge was set to determine whether to dismiss claims or move forward to trial. Speculation flared. Would ABC settle to avoid embarrassment? Could Sunny face personal liability for her statements? The renewed buzz briefly made headlines, fueled by paparazzi photos of Sunny leaving a courthouse, visibly strained. The images reignited debates about her role in the show's downfall and the high stakes of defamation cases in modern media. Wearing dark sunglasses and a subdued expression, Sunny Hostin was captured in snapshots that quickly spread online. The images reignited public debate. Some saw resilience in her demeanor, while others speculated she looked defeated. Legal analysts chimed in, noting her posture seemed to reflect the immense weight of the ongoing situation. Despite the lawsuit, Sunny received offers to restart her career through podcasts or streaming shows tackling political and social issues. Yet she hesitated. In an interview with a respected journalist, she admitted she wasn't ready to return to opinion-driven broadcast, and the experience had shaken her faith in the industry. She described feeling disillusioned by how quickly the network shifted from praising her boldness to distancing itself from her comments. The interview also revealed Sunny's most candid reflections yet. She painted a vivid picture of The View's final days, recalling how the show's lively debates turned tense under the shadow of the lawsuit. Every topic felt like a potential legal minefield, and the atmosphere grew increasingly paranoid. Co-hosts second-guessed their words, and producers gestured off-camera to shut down heated discussions. Sunny admitted the suffocating tension made her dread the very platform she once cherished. While she mourned the loss of The View, she confessed the cancellation also brought a grim sense of relief, a reprieve from the constant fear that had consumed its final weeks. Sunny Hostin's words reignited a broader conversation about the cost of unfiltered commentary in an era where litigation is often wielded as a powerful countermeasure. The debate grew louder, focusing on the risks of the delicate balance between free speech and responsible speech. A line The View had successfully walked for over 2 decades, finally snapped beneath Sunny's feet, or so her critics claimed. The iconic stage where co-hosts debated, laughed, and cried was quietly dismantled. There was no final broadcast, no farewell montage for viewers. One day, the studio lights simply went dark, leaving a void in daytime television. For the public, the show's downfall became synonymous with Sunny's role. Her controversial statement, the lawsuit that had triggered it, and the emotional breakdown that followed as The View was caught in a legal storm.
It sound right, boys.
Over time, perspectives on Sunny's actions began to diverge. Some softened their views, suggesting her intent was to hold a powerful figure accountable, not to defame them. Others argued she had taken an unnecessary risk, one that jeopardized the beloved institution, the livelihoods of its staff, and even her own career in media. For Sunny, the story isn't over yet. The defamation lawsuit is still ongoing, with lawyers on both sides working things out behind the scenes. Some speculate that settlement talks may be taking place, but nothing official has been announced. Sunny continues to stay active in her own way, supporting causes she believes in. She is quieter on social media now, but still shares posts about resilience, and staying strong, posts many think reflect her own struggles. Critics call the posts vague or shallow, but fans view them as reminders of the passion that once made her stand out on The View. People will always remember the day it ended, the sudden announcement, the staff packing up, and Sunny leaving the chief,
Sound right, boys.
set with tears in her eyes. That moment has become a symbol, showing the personal toll of speaking out in a world where every word is scrutinized. The downfall of The View has become a lesson about how risky bold opinions can be. Careers were hurt, reputations damaged, and the show itself was lost when the balance between speaking out and being careful tipped too far. Sunny's role in it all is complicated. Some blame her for pushing things too far and putting the show at risk, while others believe she was standing up for what she thought was right, only to face a powerful backlash. One thing is clear: Sunny cared deeply about her work, her causes, and the people she shared that stage with. When Sunny broke down, it wasn't just the pressure. It was about losing something she truly loved. Was she reckless or simply brave? That's for time to decide. But this will always be part of her story. For fans, The View was more than just a show. It brought people together, sparked real conversations, and became a part of their daily lives. Its sudden end may be a sign of how media is changing, or it might simply fade as new scandals and stars take over. Sunny's future remains uncertain, but one day she may return, whether as a writer, a speaker, or on a new stage. The story of The View will always follow her, but it might also give her a chance to share what she's learned. While Sunny's chapter is still being written, we can all take something from it. If you found the story interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? About Sunny's story, was she brave, reckless, or both? Your opinion matters.